Coal energy. Coal energy is the energy that is obtained by burning coal. Coal is a fossil fuel that is formed from the remains of plants that lived millions of years ago. When coal is burned, it releases energy in the form of heat, which can be used to generate electricity or power industrial processes. The process of generating electricity from coal typically involves burning the coal in a boiler to produce steam, which then drives a turbine that is connected to a generator. The generator converts the rotational energy from the turbine into electrical energy, which can then be transmitted and distributed to homes and businesses. While coal has been a significant source of energy for many years, it is also a non-renewable resource and has a significant impact on the environment due to the emissions it produces when burned. These emissions include carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides, which contribute to air pollution and climate change. As a result, there has been a shift towards using cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy, such as renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. History of coal energy. The use of coal as a source of energy dates back thousands of years. The ancient Chinese and Romans used coal for heating and cooking as early as 1000 BC. However, it was not until the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries that coal became a major source of energy for industry and transportation. During the Industrial Revolution, coal was used to power steam engines, which revolutionized the manufacturing and transportation industries. Coal was also used to heat buildings and homes, and it became a critical source of energy for many countries, including the United Kingdom and the United States. In the 20th century, coal continued to be a major source of energy, particularly for electricity generation. Coal-fired power plants became increasingly common, and by the 1970s, coal was the primary source of electricity in the United States. However, the use of coal as a source of energy has also been accompanied by concerns about its environmental impact. The burning of coal produces greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to climate change, and coal mining can also have significant environmental impacts, including land degradation, water pollution, and habitat destruction. Today, there is a growing shift towards using cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy, such as renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. However, coal continues to be an important source of energy in many parts of the world, particularly in developing countries. Scope of coal energy in current years. The scope of coal energy in current years is complex and depends on various factors, including economic, social, and environmental considerations. On the one hand, coal continues to be a significant source of energy in many parts of the world, particularly in developing countries. According to the International Energy Agency, IEA, coal accounted for approximately 36% of global electricity generation in 2020, making it the single largest source of electricity generation. This is partly due to the fact that coal is often cheaper than other sources of energy, particularly in regions with abundant coal reserves. However, there has been a growing shift towards using cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy in recent years. This is driven by concerns about climate change and the environmental impact of burning fossil fuels such as coal. Many countries have set targets to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and increase the use of renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. As a result, the use of coal has been declining in many developed countries. For example, in the United States, coal-fired power plants have been closing at a rapid rate, and the use of coal for electricity generation has fallen to its lowest level in decades. Similarly, in Europe, coal consumption has been declining as countries transition to cleaner sources of energy. Overall, the scope of coal energy in current years is likely to be shaped by a combination of factors, including the availability of alternative sources of energy, economic considerations, and environmental policies and regulations. While coal is likely to remain an important source of energy in some parts of the world, the trend towards using cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy is likely to continue.